Now let's get reaction from Conservative MP, prominent Brexiteer Andrew Bridgen in our Leicester studio. So what's your view on the end of these talks? Is it good riddance?
I think it was always going to be the case that it was well choreographed by the Labour Party that they'd want to pull out of the talks with the government prior to the European elections for political reasons. If the Labour Party are true to their word and they're going to vote against the withdrawal agreement bill, I'm absolutely convinced that an increasing number of Conservative MPs will now vote against the withdrawal agreement bill, and it's dead in the water. I think it's a terrible deal. It's a surrender document, and it would, with Theresa May announcing that she's going to be standing down, it would hamstring the future Prime Minister, whoever that is, in any negotiations with the European Union. The European Union know that. They knew that Theresa May was a weak negotiator, and they were looking to capitalise on their position through this withdrawal agreement, which is actually a treaty.
So in your view, this will go down if it gets voted on again in the first... Oh, I do apologise, Andrew Bridgen. We're just going to go over and see what the Prime Minister has to say in Bristol.
The Conservative Party didn't want to be fighting these. We wanted to be out of the European Union. Indeed, if Parliament had backed our Brexit deal, we could already have left the EU. But we're a national party, we fight national elections. And next Thursday, I want people to vote Conservative, because it's only the Conservatives who can deliver Brexit and take this country forward into a brighter future. No one else can get the job done. Labour, the Lib Dems and SNP have voted against delivering Brexit again and again. Nigel Farage can't deliver Brexit. Every few years he pops up, he shouts from the sidelines. He doesn't work constructively in the national interest. So if you want a party that works in the national interest, vote Conservative. To vote for a party that can deliver Brexit, vote Conservative. To vote for a party that will take this country forward to a brighter future, vote Conservative.
Prime Minister, Jeremy Corbyn has said the cross-party Brexit talks have gone as far as they can, and he's blamed the government and blamed the race to succeed you for undermining the negotiations. Is it the government's fault that these talks have collapsed? And should you have said that you will now stand down after the next Brexit vote, has that damaged these negotiations?
Well, as Jeremy Corbyn says, actually these talks have been constructive and we've made progress. There have been areas where we have been able to find common ground, but other issues have proved to be more difficult. And in particular, we haven't been able to overcome the fact that there isn't a common position in Labour about whether they want to deliver Brexit or hold a second referendum, which could reverse it. Now, so when we come to bring the legislation forward, we will think carefully about what we've had with these talks, the outcome of these talks. We'll also consider whether we have some votes to see if the ideas that have come through command a majority in the House of Commons. But when MPs come to vote on the bill, they will be faced with a stark choice. That is, to vote to deliver on the referendum, to vote to deliver Brexit, or to shy away again from delivering Brexit with all the uncertainty that that would leave. Thank you.
So that was a brief appearance by the Prime Minister. I think her first campaigning experience in the Euro election campaign, which of course she didn't want to fight at all. So let's go back over now to Andrew Bridgen, the MP listening there in Leicester. And Andrew Bridgen, your leader there saying vote Conservative for a brighter future. Is this the leader you want for your EU election campaign?
It's not. I think the Prime Minister would have been serving the country, our democracy and the Conservative Party to have stood down some time ago. We are where we are. The Prime Minister is right. We can't cancel elections just because we don't think the Conservatives are going to do particularly well. We are in a democracy and we have to fight the situation we find ourselves in. I will be voting Conservative in the European elections. That's because the Conservative MEPs who represent the East Midlands are ardent leavers. They campaign to leave the European Union and they're willing to leave with no deal. That's not the case across the whole country, unfortunately.
And you will have heard the Prime Minister had a go at Nigel Farage there. How concerned are you that the Brexit Party is going to take Tory votes and that the Tories will go down to 5th place, as some opinion polls are suggesting?
Well, I warned the party when we weren't willing to leave without a deal that we were creating a political vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum in politics or in life, and Nigel Farage has moved into the space vacated by the Prime Minister. What we need to do is for the Prime Minister to stand down. We need to get a Brexiteer who believes in Brexit and delivering Brexit, the benefits of Brexit, to lead the Conservative Party. All the Conservative Party had to do was leave the European Union in line with our manifesto commitments to slay the dragon, and there was no need for a dragon slayer. Unfortunately, the Prime Minister blinked when the EU were negotiating with her. She wasn't willing to leave without a deal. The EU knew that she was never willing to leave without a deal. That gave her no leverage in the negotiations to get a deal that's acceptable. Her withdrawal agreement is not acceptable. That's not leaving the European Union. It's a treaty which actually binds us under the control of the European Union, potentially in perpetuity, and I can't vote for it. I hope the Commons doesn't vote for it. And we're really treading water. We need to get on now and get someone in charge of the Conservative Party who believes in the project, believes in delivering on our manifesto pledges.
We're very tight for time. I want to ask you two questions which I'll be very grateful for brief answers. What do you think the withdrawal agreement will, what kind of defeat do you believe it will go down to in the Commons, if indeed it is defeated as you expect?
Well, I'm hoping that Labour stick by their word. Emily Thornberry was very clear when I was interviewed with her a couple of days ago that Labour will vote against the withdrawal agreement. I can't speak for other MPs on the Conservative benches, but I detect there'll be a lot more Conservatives voting against
Andrew
this
Bridgen, I've got to get in, sorry, because we've just got to say goodbye to viewers on BBC Two.